Okay, so I talked about trying to fit 10 pounds of shit in a 5 pound bag. So I've got these intake piping and some other bends that I'm going to have to cut up to make all that work. So I've got to try and sort of work everything in here around itself. So hopefully the light will pick up there. So that's the electric water pump kit. So here's the electric water pump. I've got a controller and stuff for that. So that's going to go down in here somewhere, which is tricky because it's kind of close to the exhaust pipe, and yeah, you've got to fit around this tube here. It's all getting a little bit tight in there. I still wouldn't know where to put an alternator because the way I've done these, I don't know, I could possibly fit a tiny one up there. I'm thinking the spot I'm going to have to use is right in there underneath that piping there. The belt will have to go around there. It's electric water pump, that'll have to come out here and across to there. That just sneaks just above the turbo outlet. I've got this pipe here, which will sit somewhere like that, with some of that bend on the top to make that fit, and then plumbed into the bits there. That should leave enough room for the radiator hose to go through the middle of it. Still have the belts for the alternator, as long as the alternator physically fits under there. I may have to put like a 20mm spacer under the carby to try and get it up high enough if that doesn't fit. Otherwise I'm going to have to go cutting these out and removing them, but I don't really want to because they're tied into this bit here. So yeah, I've got my thermo fans there, so they've got to fit in there as well. It's all getting very tight, but I'll make it happen. It's just a hell of a lot of head scratching going on at the minute, and just constant thinking about how it's all going to work. I've still got to fit 2 wastegates in here as well. Gonna bring them off there. On this side I could bring it straight off the housing, but this one it's upside down and it's a bit tricky, so I don't know, I'm just going to have to do bit by bit, see how I go, and yeah, get it to work however I can. So lots of head scratching to come. Alright, so welcome back to the mess. So back into it today. Now I've just got the pedal assembly mounted. Sort of exposure's not working real good. So there I got a Willwood dual master cylinder thing. I wasn't going to run rear brakes, but I got this set up second hand, so I'm just going to run the rears as well, and I've got a proportional valve thing to be able to shut them off. So there we go, we got steering sort of all locked up, the brakes tied into that. We've got a bracket underneath there that ties in that as well. It seems really solid, so that's good. Now I've got this, I had this alternator, it's off a VN Commodore. So it looks like it's going to work. My plan to have it sitting about sort of right there. It's going to fit in between everything. I might just have to get a little spacer for the carby to lift her up a little bit. So the plan is I've just marked this out on some aluminium. This is my little mock-up thing. I'm going to make a bracket that, as it goes like this. Bolts onto the head, then the alternator will go here like that, and in the middle, so I make a little spacer to get that coming off there. But that's the idea. Very unconventional, but I had a look. I'll just try and show you. It won't go back far enough there. It won't fit in there. Can't really put it up there because the piping's got to go there. It won't fit underneath, it won't go back far enough. It's pretty much the only spot it would fit was right there, so that's where it's going. Like I said, 10 pounds of shit in a 5 pound bag, but we're getting there. Okay, so I'm out here to do this. See something funny? It's the generator I picked up. It's pretty cheap. One sticker on it. in here. Look at that. It's a bit quieter. Okay, so haven't used this for a couple of years now, but I've got the generator now, so I'll give it a go and see what happens. Yeah, good. I'm just going to try and cut these out. I tried cutting them with the grinder just quickly, but it's too hard to cut through the aluminium. So see what I can do. Cut these two pieces out. So these are brackets that will go on the heads that will help mount the alternator. So I need to get that done now before I can start doing any intake piping or radiator plumbing or anything like that. So get this done, and then we can start moving on to the extras. So get started. Okay, so I did a couple of little cuts there. I'm just going to spin it around at an angle, tap it back on here. Alright, then we just do counterclockwise. I'll try and hold this and do it at the same time. Yet again, need 3 hands for doing all this. So that was just a little check to see whether it's going to work right. Looks like it will. Okay, so I figured I'd show you how a mill table sort of holds stuff down while I'm going. So we've got these little pieces here. Got that goes in the bottom, then you've got different length studs, nuts, and then these pieces. So they come in all different lengths here. Got really big ones for thick stuff. You got these big things. So what happens, you can see in there, that's like an upside down T shape. So slide that in there, and then screw a stud in. Right, and that can slide across like that. Find something like this that'll reach, maybe only just a little bit longer one. Okay, so I can use that bit. Then you've got to get something here that matches on the other side. So you can step them at different heights to get it to work. And if I screw this down and just tighten that, it's just clamping it down hard to that table. Check these out. So just cleaned up all them plates that I was milling. I just got a couple of bolts in them just to hold them. So the alternator, so it'll fit just there, like pretty well. I'm just going to have to make some little spaces just to get it spaced out right, but it's pretty close where it is. Look at that, with the setback at the head, it even works properly. So yeah, it looks good. Shouldn't fail anything. And we'll have an alternator. Okay guys, so here's where the interesting stuff starts. So I've got this roughly mocked up. It may have to come out a little bit just to line up with the smaller pulley there. But yeah, so far everything's sort of clearing. I'm leaving a bit of room underneath there for the valley plate. I can potentially put like a 1-inch spacer underneath the carby. But I'm just going to see how I go first. So this is going to have to go somewhere about there. So then I'll have a 90 degree from the top of that, or nearly 90 degree from the top of that into there. That one should be pretty straightforward to go to that turbo. This one just needs kicking down a little bit, and the reason I've got to go down is because the outlet for the radiator goes on top of the outlet for the turbo there. So I'm hoping if I can get that, it's all going to be really tight. It should give me enough clearance so the belt will be right there. It'll spin behind there. That outlet there, I'll set that down just in between there so that can poke out underneath. I'll have to fit the bluff valve to this top bit once I put this on here. But, so I've got those bends there. I'm going to cut the top one, cut it long first, and then I'll just trim it back till I can get this sort of hanging in the right spot. And then start on the other bits. Alright guys, so I've tacked this one up. That's, okay, look how dodgy I've had to mock it all up just to get it all sitting exactly the right spot, but it's looking good. So now, got to connect this pipe in here. Shouldn't be too bad. I've got these bends here to do it. So, I'll show you how this is all going to work. See, there's sort of plenty of clearance there. That's got to get spaced out about 5mm yet. Space underneath. So yeah, that pipe inlet comes from 2. It all lines up pretty well here. The outlet to there. Same to that one. So that should be pretty simple. Got 2 silicone joiners for that. So the aim for tonight is to get that all tacked up. So it's such a mission. Like there's the outlet for the there's the outlet for the radiator there. It will go right smack bang in the middle of that. So yeah, next step, I'll work out the angles for these, cut them, get them silicone on. It should be pretty easy and tacked on. And that'll be that all mocked up. Then I can start looking at the radiator, see how all that's going to fit. So yeah, really stoked with how everything's looking now. It's nice and neat. That was actually like a piece I got from, it's an Aeroflot piece or something. It was just, I was going to try and weld my own one up, and just for the sake of getting one that's neat and clean and nice, yeah, just thought I'd get that. So this whole intake's going to get powder coated once I decide what colour I'm going to go. But yeah, let's get stuck into it. Let's celebrate. Look at that. So today's been a good day. I've made that alternator mount. I've just got to work out the spacing and I have to come out a little bit. So I made these plates. I just finished tacking up all the intake. So you can see there, it comes out of both turbos. It's because it's running methanol and blow through polycarb, I won't need any intercooling. So that makes it easy. There's no intercooler or anything there. Yeah, so I'm really happy with how that all came out. I'm going to finish welding that up and then tidy it up, and that'll all just get powder coated, whatever colour I decide to go. It should, so just this pipe will pop up through the bonnet. It'll be all pretty sleek. Everything clears. There's the alternator. Still got room to go up and down to adjust the belt tension. I don't know if you can pick it up there, but it's still got to come forward about probably 10mm, but there should be enough clearance there to do it. I can always just pull it up just a little bit. Yeah, so you can see the water outlet there, that normally comes straight up, but I just spun it around and it'll sneak down in between the piping there and then make its way to the top of the radiator. Hopefully, when I swing this around here, God, everything's tight in this thing. Yeah, so that's worked out pretty well. That pipe will just go just above that turbo outlet. So it'll have to get a bit creative and sort of go down there and around there. I've still got to fit 2 wastegates here somewhere. They'll probably end up sitting up here somewhere. Got to get the radiator out far enough to fit the fans. So that should be doable. What else did I do today? I don't know if I showed you too much detail on the steering column thing, but I made that so this is like a 2-piece and bolts apart, so I can remove that. A bit of head scratching to get that to work. That's looking good. See the steering, it's got plenty of lock. Brake pedal looks nice and solid, so it's going to be good. And I've got to get stuck into these rails and chase them in that way. I've got some marks here where I've got to sort of pie cut it and bend it in, so that way I can fit my seat down in between the rails. So yeah, lots of progress today, but really happy with how the intakes come up. Yeah, it's looking good. So stoked about that.